All right, so you finally started working on your resume. Great job. But what's that? It's kind of coming up short and looks a little empty? Do you have any volunteering experience? In today's show, we're going to talk about why volunteering is worth it. Stay tuned. I was an engineer and in 2008 lost my job due to the economic collapse. Jobs were scarce. I didn't know where to turn to get help updating my resume. Online services and coaches charge hundreds, even thousands of dollars. I took matters into my own hands and learned how to craft interview-winning resumes. Shortly later, I landed a job with a Fortune 500 company. I've helped many achieve similar success. Now I share my tips to create interview-winning resumes, interviewing excellence, and high-performance growth strategies on my podcast, Career Growth Made Easy. Welcome back to the Career Growth Made Easy podcast. I'm your host, Craig Ansell. We are rolling into episode 157, and it's titled, Why Volunteering is Worth It. You've got me right. Volunteering is worth it, and we're going to talk about some of the benefits, not only for you, but also to those that you give back to. So starting out with giving back, we may all have something special inside us, a talent, an art, a skill, something that others lack or don't have as strongly polished as we do. So we need to dig deep sometimes when it's about giving back. I often talk about 3 T's when it comes to giving back, and it's the time, talent, and treasure principles. But with regards to volunteering, it's really down to 2 of those, time and talent. Sometimes we simply need to dig deep to see what capabilities, what skills, what backgrounds that we have that could potentially help others in difficult situations. You can give back in your community, in your city, even in your neighborhood. It can be something as simple as babysitting. It could be something as simple as walking a family's pet that maybe somebody's having difficulty getting out and taking care of their animals. Or it can be larger, working in school systems, libraries, churches, what have you, again, in your area. But when you give back, is it all about that, chalking up the hours and being proud and beating your chest saying, I did this, look at me? No, it's not. It's about how you give back, the message, the voice, the empathy that you have inside, and how that turns out on the outside, helping others. When you give, others naturally receive. And when they do that, that can really bring some awareness and some new viewpoints to the way you see things. With that receiving comes eventual communication and the opportunity for networking. Whether it's intended or not, networking can be a great benefit to volunteering. You may not realize it now, but the connections you build during volunteering could last a lifetime. You may not need those connections today or tomorrow, but something may change in your life. You may turn a new corner. One door may close, and another may open. And it could be that somebody that you were networking with, that you already have a connection with, can help you open that next door, whether it's to your education, whether it's to a new skill or trade, or to a job, potentially an opening to a career promotion opportunity. With that said, you learn new skills when you volunteer. You might have a set of skills to donate your time, and that's what you focus on, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It could be physical skills, trade skills like woodworking, electrician work, plumbing, gardening, but it could also be something more related to your mind. You're really good at speaking multiple languages. You're great with math. You're great at figuring things out, maybe problem solving. With that said, you could also polish those skills, but learn new skills. And it's really about how people receive the information that you share. It might take you down new pathways that you weren't expecting. So remember, giving back is great, but think of those that are receiving and how it's brightening their day, their lives. That can lead, like I said, to unexpected networking opportunities, but also learning new skills. And again, with that networking comes meeting new connections. You didn't set out to do it. You set out with the right intentions, hopefully, to give. But with that, networking can lead to new connections. All that said, these opportunities can be great for your resume. Now, you can decide what and when that information goes on your resume. The what, you have to look at the job you're applying for, and you could see, does this volunteering information fit or align with these companies' views? Does it align with how they're trying to serve the community? If it does, this would be an ideal time to list that volunteering effort. Your volunteering could be in the form of hours per day, per week, per month, or even per year. You simply have to carve out some time to do this. Also, if you're nervous or get nervous or have anxiety when it comes to interviews, one great way to connect during an interview, even like an icebreaker, without trying to puff up yourself and put yourself as the focal point, connect with that job. Connect with that company and those interviewers by sharing something you have in common, possibly through volunteering. When I was working when I was donating my time I realized, I became aware of your company when I was volunteering over at X. We had a great discussion on this topic. By the way, does so-and-so still work here? Because I ended up bumping into them during a volunteering event at a local church, at a local campground, at a local fair, whatever the case may be. It's truly a way to even build further connections and connect through interviewing discussions. And as I said, these opportunities for volunteering can open doorways, pathways to future opportunities. You don't know it now, but while you're out there working hard, giving that sweat equity, putting in the time above and beyond your personal time, above and beyond your professional time, you're separating it out to volunteer, you can call on those pathways later as future opportunities for potential connections and growth. And ultimately, what is volunteering in itself? It is helping others. That should be the true goal, the true reason why we're out there. Like I said, it could be something as simple as working on someone's lawn, walking a neighbor's pets, helping out maybe babysitting. There's a variety of things you could do. If someone is elderly in your neighborhood or unable to do physical duties, you could possibly help them clean up their house, clean up their garage during a spring garage sale. There's a variety of things to do. It's just really a matter of being creative and offering your time to those in need. And I would say this too. If we kind of wonder in our own minds, we say, well, what do I have that others could use? Or why am I so special that I can offer volunteering? Once you break that mold and you go out there and you try and you just say, okay, I'm going to go out and give, it can be a really humbling experience because you get to see the world from others' point of view. You get to see what they're seeing, what they're experiencing, maybe hear their thoughts, their viewpoints on certain topics. And that certainly can help because sometimes we only see things from our own viewpoints, and that can be, honestly, one-sided. So talking with others, meeting new friends, new networks, new groups, having those discussions can help us see into their viewpoints, into their worlds, and realize maybe, just maybe, we don't have as bad off as we think, and in fact, we should be proud that we're offering our time and our talent, possibly our treasures, as I say, to help others and to give back. In the end, this volunteering helps us reevaluate our own situations. Maybe the grass isn't always greener on the other side. So, food for thought when it comes to volunteering. Yes, it helps out in your community, in your immediate maybe neighborhood, possibly volunteering within your job, your company if you have those opportunities. It could be through your school system, church, library, which is not so common anymore, but these, public areas and possibly are looking for support. But with that, you take away the value of spending time with new friends, new networking opportunities, new connections, and you get to share a common goal, helping others in need. That helps us remember that what we may take for granted, others may not have it so. So for volunteering, as a reminder, it's something that's great to help out in our communities, in our society, but it's also great to help us recenter and refocus, maybe take a step back and look at our own personal situations and professional, our work situations, a little bit differently. That job that we didn't care for so much, that task that was coming up that we're like, God, I really don't want to do that. Or, that personal responsibility you had that was going to take a lot of time, a lot of sweat, and a lot of effort. Maybe it doesn't look and maybe it doesn't sound so bad now that you've had some time to go out, volunteer, and help others that were in need. Maybe you can do those chores, those activities, those tasks with a smile, realizing it's not so bad as you thought it was. And in the end, this volunteering, why is it worth it? Not only is it self-sacrifice and you receive richness and reward by giving back, but it can be added to your resume. Now, I briefly mentioned this earlier. When and what do you add to your resume when it comes to volunteering? Your volunteering can always be on your resume as a filler and as a placeholder for other information. But the key to resumes, whether it's about volunteering, work experience, education, whatever the topic, it's about connecting with the company that you're applying for. And not only that, but going deeper. Connect first with the company, their morals, their aspects, their values, their cultures, but then also with the specific job you're applying for. So, Craig, that's a lot. That was a mouthful of words. Okay. We have to go back and research the company if you're truly serious about applying for that job. You have to research that company. You have to do your due diligence. Learn about them. What do they stand for? Well, how the heck do you do that? Well, it can be pretty easy at times. With the internet and social media, research the company's website, go to their about page. Maybe they have a mission or a vision statement. Read up on that. Once you read it, pause for a moment. Digest each sentence, each paragraph, just for a moment. Maybe write down a few key words that come to mind. What message do that mission or vision statement share with you or trigger within you? Then their About section, that's another great place to get key information. And I'll tell you an area that sometimes is often overlooked. Interesting statement. That is often overlooked. It's testimonial pages. This is where customers or potential customers give feedback about companies and the experience working with these companies. When you hear and see the words that customers and potential customers think, feel, and say about a future company you may work for, that really gives you insight into how they tick, how they feel when they're experiencing interaction with that company member or team member, and how you might want to connect with them through your resume and through an interview. If your volunteering experiences, one or many, connect and apply to the job and the company you're applying for, I recommend you absolutely list that on your resume. Oh, and a final thought I have. Even though each volunteering event is a function, don't think about it that way. Think about how you interacted, what you did, how you gave, and how you received during each event. It sounds a little corny, but give me a break. Give me a chance here. Look, when you apply for each job, there should be a specific connection, a pull, for you to be interested to work there and for the company to be interested to read your resume further and offer you the interview. With that said, don't just state the function that you did or the physical location you were at. Maybe put a few words in on what you specifically did, how the event touched you, what you performed, what values, what you brought to the table. That may change depending on which company you're applying to, what their morals, their values, their mission and vision statements are. As long as you can truly bring what you're putting down on your resume to the table, it's a great icebreaker and a great way to get you in the door for that next interview. So, as we start to wrap up today's show, why volunteering is worth it, I hope a little story entertained you, got you thinking, and maybe broadened your horizons to the next time you have some time, whether it's a few hours a day, a week, or a month, or potentially a year, just to think about giving back. All you have to do is Google or search what volunteering opportunities are there in my neighborhood, in my city, in my county, or volunteering opportunities near me. Many times there's small flyers and other things posted in local restaurants and local grocery stores. That might be a great source for you as well. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you listening to another episode of the Career Growth Made Easy podcast. I'm your host, Craig Ansell. We always look forward to having your feedback on any of our podcast players. Please, if you have time, reach out to Apple Podcasts. Got a little squeaky voice today. Reach out to Apple Podcasts and leave a review or your favorite podcast player. We take all our reviews and comments seriously and always look to provide you with the latest information, answer your questions on what's causing you difficulty in your professional and personal world when it comes to career growth. Because after all, we want to make your career growth easy. I'm Craig Ansell. God bless. We'll talk next week. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to our channel. New episodes every Monday. In the meantime, why don't you follow us on social media at Craig Ansell on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. To book a coaching appointment, download our free guides, or join our email list, check out the links in the description below.